Welcome to River City Church Online. Thank you for joining us today. It's our prayer that you're blessed by what you hear today, so let's go and join our pastor for this week's message.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you for the long days, for the long nights, for the long road, for keeping us together, for keeping us alive, for keeping track of our shoes, our practices, our recitals, our homework, our games, for the way you guided us, the way you prayed prayers that we didn't even know how to pray. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for holding our dreams, holding our tears, for holding it together, especially in those teenage years, for holding our hands when we lost ourselves, when we didn't know where to go. They say, to love is to give, and you gave us more than we'll ever know. You are cherished, you are loved, you are God's kindness to us. And yes, with time we understand, not everyone can really celebrate today, but for those who can, we should. We thank you, Mom, for the sacrifice. We thank you for everything you've done and everything you do. We are grateful for who you are, and we thank Jesus for you.
All right, welcome everyone. That video gives you all the feels, doesn't it? Me at least, I don't know. But we're so glad that you're here today at River City Church with us. And welcome to you if this is your first time or if you're here all the time. We're really glad that you've joined us today. So as the video mentioned in the back, there is information. Alpha is taking place at River City Church again this year, and there is an information packet available at the back. It's starting on May 20th, and it's at 6 p.m. There's a meal that's provided, and then there's time for some learning and conversation as well. So everybody is welcome to attend, and we're all encouraged to think and pray about who we could invite to join us for that. Today's a special day. Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms that are here. And just know that we appreciate all the things that you do and who you are to all of the people in your lives that you have that relationship with. So we want to celebrate moms, but we also want to acknowledge those of us who are here who might have a Mother's Day that's tinged with some other feelings, whether it's disappointment or hurt or anger, regret, grief. Just know that there is space for those feelings here as well, and we recognize those. And if there is something we could do to support you on this Mother's Day, please reach out, and we're here to help you. A few events that are taking place here at River City over the next few weeks. May 23rd at 7 p.m., we're going to be having a comedy night, and this is going to involve a video of Jeff Allen, who is a clean comic, very funny, and talking about just daily life, and it's a chance for all of us to come out, have some fun, a night out, so bring a group of friends, bring your partner, designated for ages 16 and up, but please plan to come out for that. There's a cleanup happening next Saturday at Soper Park at 1 p.m. with the young adults. They're going to help out with cleaning up the park. They have bags and materials available for that, and everybody who considers himself a young adult is invited to attend. Oh, everyone's invited. Okay, there we go. May 25th is our monthly potluck coming up, and this time, River City Church, we love a good theme. It is M-themed, so meatballs, muffins, mac and cheese, something mystery, but magnificent and marvelous. All right, so please plan to join for that after the service.
help us out while Daryl's on vacation. Would you please welcome Barb up to the stage?
He's not really on vacation.
Well, he's working, yes.
He is.
Abroad.
He's in Budapest this morning. I did hear from him, and he wishes you all well. Says he misses you today. So I want to start with talking about the book of Psalms and remind you that many of the Psalms recorded in the Bible are either prayers or actual songs. 65 of the 150 Psalms recorded in the Bible are what are called laments. These are expressions of pain, sorrow, distress, and they're often aimed at God. All of these laments focus on the experience of suffering and the need for God to intervene, please, somehow. Well, today I want to present to you a modern-day psalm. And I want you to listen to it to get ready to hear what else I have to say today. And I want you to pay close attention to how it sits with your soul, how it makes you feel, and especially what relationships it might bring to mind. I'm not okay, but it's going to be all right. If you don't know, this is a song by award-winning rapper, singer, and songwriter named Jelly Roll. You turn on your radio in the car for an hour or listen to any hit song playlist on Spotify, and I'm sure you're going to hear one of his songs pretty quickly. If you look him up, you'll learn that he has had challenges, charges, jail, broken relationships. His songs are hauntingly honest, and this particular one captures something many parents, and especially moms today, feel, but they don't always say it out loud. With lines like, "I smile on the outside, but I'm broken on the inside." And the truth is that some of us on this Mother's Day are in these feels today over relationships that are hurting. And for some moms, waiting for a child to turn around is like waiting for a toddler to tie their own shoes. You're proud they want to do it, but you're also late, frustrated, and wondering if duct tape sandals are in fact a thing. For some moms, these feelings are chronic, daily. Their regular experience can be described with the metaphor of a porch light that gets left on all the time, like a beacon that says, "I'm still here, you can still come home." And for a mom waiting on her child, that light never turns off. It's like a silent prayer in physical form. But then comes Mother's Day, something known as a Hallmark holiday. For any of you post-Gen X kids out there, Hallmark was the company that at one time dominated the greeting card market, and it is a company that made a ton of money over the years from things like Mother's Day, when people feel lots of pressure to buy their mom a card. I know I'm being a bit cynical here. Mother's Day is beautiful, but for some, it's also complicated. And especially if your child is distant, not maybe just physically, but emotionally or spiritually, or maybe even all three. Maybe they've made choices you don't understand. Maybe they don't call anymore or text anymore. Maybe they're in your house, but you feel a world away from them. Some moms are celebrating with their kids today. I know all the Biermans are in the house. Others are praying to be unblocked or to get a text back. Some moms have a prodigal, and some moms are the prodigal. And I'm here today to tell you that I have had a little bit of experience with both of those things. And maybe you do too. And so I'm hoping you hear from God today on this Mother's Day. Now, Jesus told a story to a crowd full of these kinds of broken hearts and wondering parents. Now, it's about a father and a son and a lot of waiting, but we're going to make it work. today I want to focus on what it means to wait well. Join me in welcoming Barb Bierman, a fellow mother, to the platform to read today's message found from Luke 15.
Hello. Okay. Luke 15, 11 to 32. And he said, "A certain man had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the part of your property which will be mine.' And he made the division of his goods between them. And not long after, the younger son got together everything which was his, and took a journey into a faraway country. And there all his money went in a foolish living. And when everything was gone, there was no food to be had in that country, and he was in need. And he went and put himself into the hands of one of the people of that country, and he sent them into his fields to give the pigs of their food. And so great was his need that he would have been glad to take the pigs' food, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to his senses, he said, 'What numbers of my father's servants have bread enough and more, while I am near to death, here through need of food. I will give up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have done you wrong against heaven and in your eyes. I am no longer good enough to be named your son. Make me like one of your servants.' And he got up and went to his father. But while he was still far away, his father saw him and was moved with pity for him, and went quickly and took him in his arms and gave him a kiss. And his son said to him, 'Father, I have done wrong against heaven and in your eyes. I am no longer good enough to be named your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Get out of the first robe quickly and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And get the fat young ox and put it to death, and let us have a feast and be glad. For this my son, who was dead, is living again. He had gone away from me and has come back,' and they were all full of joy. Now the older son was in the field, and when he came out near the house, the sound of music and dancing came to his ears. And he sent for one of the servants, questioning him about what it might be. And he said to him, 'Your brother has come, and your father has had the youngest ox put to death, because he has come back safely.' But he was angry and would not go in. And his father came out and made a request to him to come in. But he made answer and said to his father, 'See, all these years I have been your servant, doing your orders in everything, and you never gave me even a young goat so that I might have a feast with my friends. But when this your son came, who has been wasting your property with bad women, you put to death the fat young ox for him.' And he said to him, 'Son, you are with me all times, and you are with me at all times, and all I have is yours. But it was right to be glad and to have a feast. For this is your brother, who was dead, is living again, and has gone away and has come back.'"
Oh, thank you very much, Al. I want to start with just some context about this story, and it's probably a pretty familiar one. I bet most of you have read it more than one time, and I'm hoping that today I'll bring a little bit more to it for you to think about. So in this story, Jesus is addressing Pharisees and teachers of the law, and these were people who were criticizing him for welcoming sinners and tax collectors into his midst. So in Jesus' story, there were some roles. These are the players. There's the sinners and the tax collectors, which represent the prodigal son. And then there are Pharisees, which represent the older brother. In this chapter, Jesus actually tells 3 parables. One about a lost sheep, one about a lost coin, and finally one about a lost child. Each one of these stories shows God's heart for the lost. But the prodigal son has more in it. It isn't just about the son. It's also about the Father. It's about the Father's heart, a heart that resembles God's love for his own wandering children. And his message? God is the kind of Father who watches the driveway, not the clock. God is the kind of Father who watches the driveway and not the clock. Remember this thing I was talking about, your porch light? The father in this story kept his light on. So I said this was about waiting well. And I want to assure you that waiting well does not mean doing nothing. But I do want to challenge you with it meaning to love without control, to pray without panic, and to trust without a timeline. So for those of you, moms especially, who find yourself in a waiting place today, I want to give you 4 tips from this story. Tip 1, wait with open arms, not with tight hands. Verse 12 says, the younger son said, "Give me my share." So the father divided his property. First, just an observation here. The father didn't chase him or try to talk him out of it. He let go. He didn't control or guilt trip. He didn't launch a rescue mission. He didn't send 47 texts questioning his motives. He let him go. And I'm here to acknowledge that this is probably the hardest thing a parent ever has to do. Letting go is a little bit like releasing a bird that you've nursed back to health. If any of you have ever had that experience, you want to hold on and take care of that little bird, but you also know that real healing only happens when you trust it to go back and try flying again. This father in this story trusted that God's process would work better than his pressure. So I'm asking you this morning, are your arms open or are your fists clenched? Because trying to be your kid's Holy Spirit will only delay the real work of the Holy Spirit. I'm sure we've all had those moments of weakness where we've tried these casual guilt trips, like texting something like, "Saw your baby blanket today, still smells like you, no pressure, just weeping." It takes real faith to release that grip. But you're not releasing in empathy, you're releasing in trust. Tip 2, let love be the welcome, not shame. Verse 20 of our passage says, while he was still a long way off, talking about the son, the father ran to him. So this was after the son had been away on his adventures. The father ran to his son, not with a lecture, but with a hug, with an embrace. Love creates safety, not shame. That father restored his son before hearing any confession, any apology. No lectures, no punishment chart, just hugs and a robe and a big fat party. Imagine that father sprinting toward his son when he saw him coming down the road, his sandals kicking up dust, his heart pounding. He wasn't thinking about the past. He was only thinking about that moment, the present. Meanwhile, here's us, some of us greeting our kids like we're TSA agents. Where have you been? What's in the bag? Any hidden sins I need to know about? Think about this for just a minute. If your child walked through the door today after some distance, would they feel loved or would they feel judged? You don't need to say anything, but be real about your answer to yourself and avoid that temptation to weaponize grace. Tip number 3, keep hope alive without forcing the outcome. This is a hard one. I'm giving you an extra verse today. Write it down, pull out your phone, get your notes open, and take this one down and dwell on it, live on it, breathe on it. Romans 12:12. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. This is other advice outside of our story today. God encourages us to stay prayerful and not be panicked. Your prayers are being heard even if you feel like your texts aren't. God encourages us to have hope. And this is where God says, hope's not hype, it's real. Think about it a little bit like planting seeds. We're at that time of year, aren't we? You're not going to dig up your seeds every day to see how they're growing, would you? No, you trust that the process is working underground and that at some point you will see it and it will pay off. Tip number 4, stay rooted in your identity, not their decisions. Verse 22 of our passage says this. The father said, "Bring the best robe, put a ring on his finger." What do we see here? The father didn't lose himself. He never lost himself. He kept his identity rooted in who he was, not what his son did. And regardless, you're still the parent, even when your kid doesn't want to act like the child. And so, don't let bitterness take that seat that's meant for love, because bitterness is a slow leak in your soul. Use the waiting time instead to work on your own healing. I can tell you to read the Bible and learn more about holy healing, but you know what else is holy healing? Therapy is holy. Rest, so is rest. And River City has a program, a CAP program, where you can access some therapy assistance. And you can talk to one of the hosts about that after the service. There are signs all over in the lobby, but River City is here to help you on that journey. As you think of your porch light staying on, don't think of it as wasted electricity. Think of it as a signal. There's still love at this address. Remember that our passage today said that the Father saw him while he was still a long way off because he was watching. I'm going to read that again. The Father saw him while he was still a long way off because he was watching. He was watching. That porch light was on. So don't stop praying, and don't stop loving. And above all, don't stop hoping. You're not giving up on your child. You're giving up on the need to control when and how that healing happens, and you're trusting it to God. Just back to that porch light analogy one more time. What happens when your power goes out in your house? You light candles? Why do you light candles? You light candles believing that the light's going to come back soon enough, that the problem will be fixed. Waiting in faith during a time like this means first believing that the light will actually come back on. And so it is with your children. It's easier said than done, though, isn't it? So I just want to round this up, this discussion about this passage, with some tips about how to parent with more faith in God while you're in that waiting place. So the first thing I wanted to say is pray bold prayers. Be bold. Don't pray for God to fix your kid, but pray instead for God to find them and to do his work that only he can do. Second one, show up with hope. Even if it's just keeping their room ready at home, or answering the phone with a kind voice, or sending a loving note that may even still go unanswered. And third, love like the porch light's still on. Let your home and your heart be a safe place to return to. Like the father in our passage today, you're not just waiting for a prodigal. You're also becoming the kind of parent they'll want to come home to. God can do things in them, but he can also do things in us while we're in this waiting time. We're going to leave these 3 tips up on our screen for a few minutes. And we're going to listen to our modern day psalm by Jelly Roll again. It's going to be your favorite song by the time this is over. And I just wanted to mention, too, that this song is found on an album that's called Beautifully Broken. If you give it a chance, if you're not a country/rap fan, give it a chance. Make this Listen Now your prayer today, focusing on the words that echo your own prayers of hope for any parent-child relationship that's on your mind today. Could be one that you have with your parent, could be one that you have with your child.
Every day we ask so many questions. What should I wear? What's the weather going to be like? How am I going to fit everything in? But then there are those bigger questions, like why am I here? Where am I heading? Is there more to life than this?
I had arrived at an answer to the most important issue that we humans ever deal with. Is there a God? And I had arrived there without ever really looking at the evidence. And I was supposed to be a scientist.
At 28, I had gotten many of the things that I thought I wanted. My girlfriend was on the cover of magazines, I had a Beamer, and I was so unhappy. It was a realization maybe that I would never find happiness where I was looking for it.
I think for so many years, I always just strived to be strong in myself. All I needed was me and my buddies and, we'd be like invincible. But the truth is, none of us are.
I found purpose, I found meaning, I found hope. God took something so broken and made it a beautiful art piece.
Alpha is a place where you can be yourself. You can say what you think and challenge everything. No question is too complex or too simple. And what your point of view is as important as anyone else's.
We are going on a journey together, an adventure to explore the questions of life, faith, and meaning.
Thanks for checking us out today. We hope that you will join us here on YouTube or in person next week to continue our study of God's Word. If you have questions about your faith, please go to our website, rivercitychurch.org, and click on the Contact Us tab. We would love to hear from you and learn how we can serve you better. We exist in this community because of generous support from donors like you. If you would like to support this ministry because you were blessed by what you heard today, please go to our website, rivercitychurch.org, and click on the Giving tab. There'll be all kinds of options there for you where you can give to support our ministry in Cambridge, Ontario. Have a great week. I hope that God surprises you with His love today and every day. Thanks for watching.